As we reported earlier, President Trump departed today for a lengthy trip to Asia. At the top of the agenda will be coordinating pressure against North Korea. The regime of Kim Jong-un has made significant advances in its nuclear and missile programs. The core message of the president's trip: we will not allow North Korea to have the capability to launch a nuclear-tipped missile that can hit the United States. So how does North Korea view its weapons programs and the Trump administration's approach? We turn to former North Korean diplomat Tae Yong-ho. He was once North Korea's deputy chief of mission in London. He defected last year and now lives in South Korea. Mr. Tae, thank you very much for joining us. You were telling us that you led a pretty privileged life as a diplomat working for the North Korean government. Why did you defect?
Oh, it's a little complex reasons of my defection. First of all, I did not agree with the Kim Jong-un's desperate race of nuclear and ICBM programs, which can finally make North Korea totally destroyed. And secondly, because of my future of my sons, I thought that as a father, the best legacy I should leave for my son is to let them free.
We know this is a regime that takes defectors very seriously. Are you and your family safe?
Oh, at this moment, I'm not quite sure whether my family members or relatives are safe. I have one sister.
The ones who are still in North Korea?
Yes, I have one sister and a brother in North Korea. And for propaganda work, last April, North Korea invited CNN team to have interview with my brother and my sister. And in that interview, they cursed me a lot. But at that time, I was really happy to see their faces again, because I didn't imagine that I could see them again in my life after my defection.
So as someone who worked in the diplomatic field for the North Korean government through many years, what can you tell us about the mindset of Kim Jong-un?
Oh, Kim Jong-un is not a madman. He is an intelligent guy, but with a merciless mind. So the past 5 years of his rule in North Korea proved that he wants to destroy anything on his way, no matter whether it is a country or a human being. He has persecuted hundreds of senior leaders in North Korea in his 5 years term, including his family members like his uncle and his half-brother.
His own half-brother. What do you understand to be his view of the United States? We've seen his nuclear buildup, the missile buildup. What is your sense of what he thinks he can accomplish when it comes to the United States?
Oh, he has a kind of illusion that if he acquires these nuclear weapons and ICBM, he could be able to compel Washington to pull U.S. troops out of South Korea. And once U.S. troops leaves South Korea, then foreign investments would follow U.S. troops out of South Korea. And if that is the case, then the South Korean business also would leave. Then he can stabilize the whole South Korean system with his nuclear weapons.
But we haven't seen that happen, of course. And what we are seeing is this administration, the Trump administration, pursuing a very aggressive policy toward the North. What do you see as the effects of that on the North?
I think Kim Jong-un has been very desperate to develop its ICBM and nuclear, and he even sent a lot of rhetorics, warnings, and provocations of nuclear tests and ICBM's tests. But I think we should admit that some rhetorics by President Trump and the unpredictable character of the President Trump actually worked to some extent to stop his desperate escalation of this conflict. For instance, when Kim Jong-un warned the possible test around Guam, the American territory, then the President Trump responded with fire and fury.
That comment, right?
Yes, and that kind of a very strong response by President Trump actually stopped Kim Jong-un to have a test around Guam. That's why he changed his direction of ICBM from Guam to Pacific Ocean over the Japanese territory.
So you're saying to some extent it's had a positive effect on the North.
I believe it's so.
And we know now from reporting that there are those in the Trump administration who have put forward the notion of the possibility of a limited strike, an attack against the North in order to punish the North and to keep it from developing its nuclear and missile program, in the belief that that could be effective. How do you think the North would respond?
I think even a limited strike, like a kind of surgical strike by U.S. can bring a full-scale the conflict or war on Korean Peninsula, because all North Korean military have been trained to fire back anyway if one of their, or even very small part of North Korea is attacked by the U.S. And given the fact that more than 10 million of South Korean population are living within 100 range of tens of thousands of North Korean artilleries and missiles, I think if that kind of immediate and automatic response from North Korean military can create huge human loss on South Korean side. And if that's the case, then I think America and South Korean forces may retaliate in full scale. Yeah. Then that's why, that it will easily escalate into a full-scale war on Korean Peninsula, which would mean huge human sacrifice.
Huge, almost unthinkable. You've also talked to us, Mr. Tae, about what you think would be effective. You're saying some of the tough talk from President Trump has been effective, but you've also said that there should be a better effort to communicate with the North, to reach out to the North. What do you mean by that?
I think we should engage in, even try a dialogue with Kim Jong-un, and also we should engage to break the isolation of North Korean people. I think we can disseminate the more outside informations to educate North Korean people so that we can help North Korean people to make a change.
Fascinating. Fascinating to see where this is going to lead. Tae Yong Ho, we thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.